Well, alright, everyone. Welcome to Deep Dives with Dogs. Well, today's topic is the effect of marketing strategies and if they are intentional or if they are unintentional. Specifically, I'm talking about, because the day I'm recording this is April 23rd, and I'm talking about the new Coke release. So, if you are not aware, New Coke was a product released by Coca-Cola in 1985, April 23rd, 1985, and it was a new recipe of Coca-Cola. Some people describe it as being pretty good, most disagree. Um, and it was kind of seen as an abject failure, and so much so that only 79 days after the new Coke's release, Coca-Cola would release Coca-Cola Classic, or the old recipe, and it would, and then eventually New Coke would be discontinued in about 2002. So, crazy thing. Oh, could this be seen as a marketing failure or a brand failure? Well, that's where some of the conspiracy comes in with this. And some of the, is this an intentional marketing ploy or was this just a stroke of luck for the Coca-Cola? Because Coca-Cola, when they release the classic Coke, it's very quickly, obviously, after New Coke. About 79 days. That's not very long. It's a little over 2 months. And the release of classic Coke actually propels Coca-Cola back into the top spot because Coke, before this, was starting to lose quite a bit of ground to Pepsi. Pepsi was starting to take Coke's spot of number one soft drink. And the idea is let's release new Coke, see if we can get some of that market back. And instead, it causes a media firestorm that eventually leads to, or a public firestorm, you could say more so, that leads to the release of Classic Coke, which ends up propelling Coke back into the top spot. And it's remained there ever since. And so, the conspiracy fully is that Coca Cola released New Coke to fail so that they could re release Classic Coke and regain that market share. Big if true. There's obviously some coincidences that very much lead to that theory. Personally, I don't really, not really sure either way. It would make sense that maybe a marketing company would say, "Hey, let's try this because it might work pretty well," and it might, you know. Uh, Brands have done this since, release a product to make them think that it will be the replacement for the original, just so that people go, "Hey, no, I like the original," and then they're going out to buy it to show support for it. But this is one of those instances of Coke. It's such a weird, out of place thing. It was, why release new Coke? Why not try something else? If the market was there for Coke, I mean, look, they soared back into the top spot. This new Coke thing is kind of mostly considered pretty much an abject failure um, by a lot of marketing and um, uh, what's the word? Marketing and company teams. I have another word for it, but I can't think of it right off the top of my head. But because of the just horrific failing that New Coke has, however, it does in some way help the Coca-Cola company. Like I said, with New Coke failing, Classic Coke became very popular again. People had a big outcrying for Classic Coca-Cola. Even though, as a lot of people will say, New Coke was probably a little tastier. But who knows? Personally, I never really had New Coke. It was gone before I was really drinking any soft drinks. So, But if you had New Coke, did you like it more than classic Coke, or did you not? Were you one of the people that was outcrying the return of the classic Coca-Cola? And yeah, but that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you have any ways I can improve these videos, leave a comment down below. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.